There are several things in the world that make me question what the heck is going on. The most common thing I ask is why? Why does something exist? Why are we doing things a certain way? And crowdfunding is no exception. The following items all came off of Kickstarter. Don't be alarmed because many of them probably will be made and delivered. Remember that within crowdfunding, no product has necessarily been made, and in some cases not even a prototype. But these things probably will be made because, well, they're fairly simple. Looking at them, all I can ask is, why? Let's take a look. The first thing we want to see is called Shine, a wind turbine that fits in my backpack. Looking at this thing, it is a wind turbine, very similar to a great many things that are found on boats, campsites, and so forth, that are used to generate a certain amount of power for various things like charging batteries or running small lights and so forth. It's not a bad idea, but I tend to wonder why they needed to have this thing at all. Because it can be taken with you on a backpack. Well, there probably are quite a few others that can as well. And the other thing is, well, you're going to have to set it up and take it back down again. And if you're doing that camping, where you might be doing that every day or so, it becomes kind of a burden, even at only 3 pounds, to be carrying this thing. But then it is, after all, your decision to make. It's not all that expensive, but I tend to wonder whether or not anybody is going to use it beyond a couple of times, and then it gets put in the garage and just sits there, making you wonder why you spent the money on it. And then here is something that really kind of is weirding me out, the eye mask by Ostrich Pillow. It's a pioneering, at least that's what they claim, 3D ergonomic eye mask. Now, eye masks are nothing new. When I used to fly overseas on these overnight flights, when I crossed the international date line, for instance, they would give you an eye mask if you needed one, simply to allow you to sleep. Why do I need to buy one when there are so many that are available? Again, there's that question. Why? Will it be made? Probably. Will it be of use? Maybe. But again, why is something like this necessary? And a big why to this one, the Beeline Velo 2, supposedly better cycling routes, navigation, and tracking. Now, if you read the text that comes with this, the basic idea seems to be that this is a device that will help you find better routes, primarily, I guess, in urban areas, that would make sure that you can avoid traffic, road closures, dead bodies, I don't know. But the whole thing that you have to wonder about is, if you are cycling and an avid cycler, aren't you going to be aware of road closures by reading the paper or listening to the radio and other hazards of the road? And if they are so prevalent, such a concern for you, wouldn't you want to be cycling someplace that, well, perhaps a lot of cars aren't? Who knows? It's your money. Spend it wisely. They're crowdfunding this as if it was something really wonderful, and maybe it is. I don't know. I would never use something like this myself, but in their own description, they sit there and compare it with products that do the same thing that already exist. Why on earth do I need to look for something else that has yet to be made, that because it's crowdfunded and the materials have to be sourced and made and so forth, when I can already apply something that is already existing out there, that I could buy over the counter, that may already have reviews on it indicating how well or how poorly it works? It's a real roll of the dice to get something like this, isn't it? Why would you want to do that? Damned if I know. Let's move on. And here we now come to the chicken stone. It's an item that looks incredibly suggestive, and when you start getting into how it's supposed to be used and what it's for, It's for roasting chickens. And there's another version, apparently a little bit larger, for doing the same thing involving turkeys. And again, they compare it to already existing devices that are out there, trying to show that theirs is going to be better. Now, I say we're going to be because you have to remember, it doesn't exist yet, it's not on the market, and as far as I know, no one's been able to test it. If you want a good laugh, take a look at what they look like when they're inserted into the bird, and then get your mind out of the gutter. To satisfy the woo crowd, I found this one very easily called Pi, I guess that's how it's pronounced. It's a levitating pyramid by flight. That's right, it's a pyramid that levitates. Exactly what you want in your life, cluttering up your household, gathering dusts. That's assuming that, of course, it does eventually get made and that it actually works. I don't know, based on the photos and the video that they have here, if the thing really does. I mean, it's kind of cool. It has cool factor written all over it. That might be the only reason to own it. It serves no practical purpose. But if you want to spend your money on it, well, it's your home. You can clutter it up any way you want to. Coming into the fairly useful products, if one is ever made, and shouldn't you wait until it comes out at retail, the Midnight Slice, which is an ergonomic food slicer. What they appear to have done is taken a standard type of pizza cutter, reworked the handle, and did it in such a way that you can now use it to slice more than just pizza. Maybe you're doing it for vegetables, maybe other things, but it does seem to be something rather practical. I'm wishing them well, but you have to wonder again, why crowdfund when I could wait until it comes to the market and other people have tested it, and if it's really working well for them, I know already it's going to work well for me, and it's going to be money spent at that time for something that I can take possession of right away. Again, if you want to crowdfund it, it's your money. Do what you want. There's no better way to pronounce the name of this, the yarn counter. Now, it's a device that measures the length of yarn. It says so right there underneath the name, and apparently that is its sole function. Now, I wasn't aware that measuring the length of yarn was a tedious thing or was a problem, but apparently it is, and so much so that, well, if you look at how much money they raised, there are enough people that want this. I can't say one way or another whether this is something that people really should put their money into, but ooh, the yarn counter, gotta be an incredibly specialized reason you need it, and frankly, I'm surprised they raised this amount of money. Again, it was their money. There are over 2,000 backers for it. I hope they get their yarn counter and that they're very, very happy with it. And finally, we come to something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. It's called Short Circuits, a platform for learning electronics, building modular devices from kits so that you can learn, especially if you're a younger person, how electronics works, how breadboarding works, and so forth. Now, this type of product has been out there on the market from other manufacturers like Allied for many, many years. I had them when I was a youngster, learning how transistors worked and so forth, making all kinds of cool gadgets, in some cases very simple ones. But the end result is that this is one that's being crowdfunded. And I'm willing to bet that if you go into some sort of electronic hobbyist shop, like maybe a Best Buy or something similar, you'll find something like this already on the market. I'm not saying this is a bad product. I'm sure hoping that they will deliver. I mean, they had a really low goal compared to what they actually raised. But why? Why do I need to crowdfund something that already exists? You tell me. There's a whole comment section below so that everybody can school me on just how stupid I am for raising this question, but hey, I'm willing to learn if you're willing to teach me. Otherwise, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, And, well, come back and see me for some of my other videos. I hope you like them. I'll see you next time.